I've recently gotten into activating state parks, something called Parks on the Air with amateur radio. So as part of doing that, I've played with a couple of different radios, and I've put together this nice kit based on the Elecraft KX2 that I'd like to show you. Inside this package is the radio and everything you need to set up a radio station out in the park. So let's take a look inside. Okay, so first and foremost, we've got the radio. This is the Elecraft KX2. Really nice HF rig. I use it primarily on CW, but does a really fantastic job. I've got this one equipped with the internal battery and the internal tuner, so I don't need to carry a battery and tuner with me, so that helps to make the pack smaller and lighter. And I've got the microphone for the radio, which I've yet to use. I've primarily been using it on CW. And speaking of CW, I've got the BaMaKeY set of paddles here that I use primarily for my CW operations. And this is the cord to connect up the paddles to the radio. And I've also got my miniature Camelback straight key for those times when I feel like operating a straight key instead of using the paddles. And I've also got a power cord that could connect up to the radio and has a power pole on the other end, so I can use an external battery pack if I choose to. And there's a number of RF adapters to go from UHF to BNC in a couple of different flavors, as well as just male-to-male, female-to-female connectors. This gives me a number of options depending on which antenna I'm using and which feed line or transmission line I'm using. Allows me to ensure that I can connect up any combination of BNC and UHF connectors and cables and antennas together. And I've also got a small 10-watt BNC 50 ohm dummy load that I can connect up to the radio if I want to do some testing without transmitting on the air. Okay, so under this flap here, got a number of other things going on. Found these small pocket notebooks, which are a great size for doing some remote logging and things like that. It fits perfectly in the case here, so that and a couple of mechanical pencils and pens to go and make my logs while I'm running portable. And here I've got a couple of wire antennas. This one right here is a 20 meter end fed. I just have it kind of labeled here as 20 meters. And that will hook up to this little spark plug gear 49-to-1 transformer. Next to that one is a 15 meter end-fed half-wave antenna. This one is a bit more of a random wire, just sitting in there. And I've got a BNC to banana adapter that I can use just to connect random wires to use with the radio, just in case I don't want to deploy any of these single band antennas. I've got a short, 5 or 6 foot BNC cable. This is to use in those cases where the feed point of the antenna is going to be very close to the radio. I've just got that one set up right here. Oftentimes I'll bring with me a couple of other hunks of coax, 30, 40, or 50 feet with me, along with this pack for when the antennas are set up further away. So now inside the zipper pouch here, there's a couple more antennas and things like that. So this guy is a 40 meter end-fed wire antenna. This one was made by Three Mosquitoes Antennas here in New Jersey. So when I've got enough space to deploy a 68-foot long antenna, I'll use that guy. Otherwise, I'll use the single band units. Also sitting here, just another short little BNC cable for some testing purposes. Another just length of random wire. I've got a couple of lightweight aluminum hooks that I can use just to hook the end of an antenna to a rope to pull it up in a tree. Very lightweight. And then there's just a little weight with a hole drilled in it that I can use to throw some lightweight, either lightweight wire or a lightweight string or rope into a tree to pull an antenna up. So with this kit, if I wanted to go completely minimalist and bring the least amount of things out to the field, this kit will let me get up on the air and give me a couple of options for antennas. Now I do have some other packs that have other antennas. I've got a vertical antenna that can be adjusted with a tripod. I've got a couple of other end-fed wire antennas. I've also got a bag with a throw line to toss a rope higher in a tree to pull up the longer antennas, and some longer lengths of coax. I keep those in a backpack, and I've shown that backpack in a video that I'll link down in the description below that I did several years ago. but I've kind of modified the contents of that backpack to kind of fit now the KX2 instead of the ICOM 703 that I had built the pack for originally. So depending on what park I'm going to go to, where I've got to hike to, if I'm going to hike in, or if I'm just going to deploy right from the vehicle or in a parking lot somewhere, I'll decide what I'm going to take along with this kit to deploy the antenna that I want to use to make the contacts. So how about you? Have you started doing any portable operating? If so, let me know what you keep in your Go kit to bring radios out into the field and set up a radio station out in a park or in some portable locations or up on a summit somewhere. Thanks again as always for watching, and comments are welcome. We'll see you again next time. Thank you.